Hey there, amazing gardeners of the Smart Garden community. If you've been following along on our journey to create thriving, vibrant gardens, you know we're always looking for that next breakthrough that can transform how we grow. Today, I'm incredibly excited to share something that's going to completely revolutionize your approach to soil enrichment. And honestly, it might just make you question everything you thought you knew about creating healthy garden soil. Imagine a tiny, tireless army working right beneath your feet, transforming your garden into an ecosystem overflowing with life and nutrients. This isn't just about better soil. It's about unlocking a level of plant vitality you never thought possible, in a way that's completely different from anything you've learned. Get ready to discover the true soil supercharger that will change your gardening forever. Let's be honest for a moment about traditional composting. If you're like most gardeners, you've probably experienced the frustration of dealing with smelly compost piles that attract flies and rodents, take up precious space in your yard, and seem to take forever to break down into something actually usable. You've likely found yourself turning that pile week after week, wondering if you're doing something wrong when it doesn't heat up properly, or dealing with the disappointment of inconsistent results that leave you questioning whether all that effort was worth it. The traditional hot composting method, while noble in its intentions, often feels like a demanding relationship that requires constant attention, perfect ratios of brown and green materials, regular turning, moisture management, and months of patience before you see any real benefits. Many gardeners start with enthusiasm but gradually abandon their compost piles when life gets busy or when the results don't live up to expectations. What's particularly frustrating is that we all understand the why behind composting. We want richer soil, healthier plants, and a sustainable way to handle our organic waste. The desire to create that beautiful, dark, crumbly soil amendment drives us to persist with methods that frankly aren't optimized for our modern gardening needs or lifestyle constraints. There's gotta be a better way, and fortunately, there absolutely is. What if I told you there's a method that requires a fraction of the space, virtually no maintenance, produces results in half the time, and creates a soil amendment that's exponentially more powerful than traditional compost? Welcome to the world of vermiculture, specifically worm bins, which represent not just an alternative to composting but a complete paradigm shift in how we approach soil enrichment. Vermicomposting harnesses the incredible digestive power of earthworms, specifically red wiggler worms, to transform your kitchen scraps and organic waste into what's often called black gold. Worm castings that are so nutrient-dense and biologically active that they make traditional compost look like amateur hour. Think of it as having a team of the world's most efficient recyclers working around the clock, breaking down organic matter and packaging it into the perfect plant food. The beauty of this system lies in its simplicity and efficiency. While your traditional compost pile sits outside taking up space and demanding attention, a worm bin can fit under your kitchen sink, in a closet, or tucked away in a corner of your garage. The worms do all the work for you, quietly and odorlessly transforming your daily food scraps into premium soil amendment. There's no turning, no temperature monitoring, no complex carbon to nitrogen ratios to calculate, just feed the worms and watch the magic happen. Here's where things get really exciting, because worm castings aren't just different from compost, they're superior in ways that will blow your mind. When organic matter passes through a worm's digestive system, it undergoes a transformation that creates a soil amendment with properties that traditional composting simply cannot replicate. The nutrient density of worm castings is extraordinary. Through their digestive process, worms concentrate essential plant nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, and magnesium. But here's the crucial difference. These nutrients are immediately plant available. Unlike traditional compost where nutrients need to be further broken down by soil organisms before plants can access them, worm castings deliver nutrition in a form that plants can absorb instantly. This means faster growth, more vibrant foliage, and increased flowering and fruiting. But the real magic lies in the biological activity. Worm castings contain an incredibly diverse and densely populated community of beneficial microorganisms, enzymes, and other soil biology that comes directly from the worm's gut microbiome. These microscopic allies form symbiotic relationships with plant roots, helping them access nutrients more efficiently while simultaneously suppressing harmful pathogens and pests. It's like giving your plants their own personal bodyguard and nutritionist rolled into one. The beautiful thing about starting your worm bin journey is how accessible and affordable it is. You don't need expensive equipment, complicated setups, or extensive knowledge to begin creating your own soil supercharger. A basic worm bin can be set up for under $50 using materials you might already have around the house. Your container can be as simple as a plastic storage tub with holes drilled in the bottom for drainage and in the sides for ventilation. The ideal size for a family of 4 is about 18 gallons, which will easily handle your daily kitchen scraps while producing a steady supply of castings. Place this main bin inside a slightly larger container to catch any liquid that drains out. This worm tea is itself a fantastic liquid fertilizer that you can dilute and use immediately on your plants. The bedding for your worms should be moist, fluffy, and carbon-rich. Shredded newspaper, cardboard, or coconut coir work perfectly. The key is creating an environment that feels like the forest floor where worms naturally thrive. Damp but not soggy, airy but not dry. Your bedding should feel like a wrung-out sponge when you squeeze it. Red wiggler worms are the stars of this show, and you'll want to start with about a pound of worms for your bin. These aren't the same earthworms you find in your garden. Red wigglers are specifically adapted for living in organic matter rather than soil, making them perfect for bin life. They reproduce quickly, so your population will grow as your system establishes itself. The real excitement begins when you start applying your worm castings to your garden and witness the transformation that follows. Unlike synthetic fertilizers that provide a quick burst of growth followed by a crash, or traditional compost that improves soil gradually over seasons, worm castings create both immediate and long-lasting improvements that compound over time. Your first application will likely produce visible results within weeks. Plants treated with worm castings typically show deeper green foliage, increased flowering, improved disease resistance, and more robust root development. But the long-term benefits are even more impressive. With consistent use, worm castings fundamentally transform soil structure, creating a living ecosystem that becomes more fertile and productive each season. The microorganisms in worm castings establish permanent colonies in your soil, creating a biological network that continues working long after the initial application. These beneficial microbes help plants access nutrients more efficiently, improve soil structure through their natural processes, and create a protective barrier against soil-borne diseases and pests. Over time, soils regularly amended with worm castings develop what gardeners call biological resilience, the ability to maintain plant health even under stress conditions like drought or disease pressure. Regular worm bin maintenance becomes surprisingly addictive once you see these results. Many gardeners find themselves looking forward to feeding their worms and harvesting castings because the connection between their daily kitchen waste and thriving garden becomes so tangible and rewarding. The system creates a perfect, closed loop. Your food scraps feed the worms. The worms create premium soil amendment. The soil grows healthier plants, and those plants provide more organic matter for the system. The cumulative impact extends beyond individual plant health to overall garden ecosystem vitality. Gardens regularly treated with worm castings develop richer soil biology, attract more beneficial insects, support healthier plant communities, and become more productive year after year. This isn't just about getting better tomatoes this season. It's about creating a foundation for decades of exceptional gardening success. This transformation represents a fundamental shift from the input-intensive model of traditional gardening to a regenerative approach where your garden becomes increasingly self-sustaining and productive. Worm bins aren't just an alternative to composting. They're the foundation of a completely different relationship with soil health that yields superior results with less effort, less space, and more consistent outcomes. The future of gardening isn't about working harder or buying more inputs. It's about working smarter with natural systems that amplify your efforts. Worm bins represent this evolution perfectly, offering a simple, accessible way to create soil amendments that surpass anything available commercially, while transforming your kitchen waste into garden gold. I hope this deep dive into the world of worm bins has opened your eyes to the incredible potential sitting right in your kitchen scraps. This isn't just another gardening technique. It's a complete paradigm shift that can revolutionize your soil health and plant vitality while simplifying your approach to garden nutrition. If this guide has inspired you to start your own vermiculture journey, make sure you're subscribed to the Smart Garden channel so you never miss our latest soil building strategies and garden innovations. Hit that notification bell, and don't forget to share this video with fellow gardeners who are ready to discover the power of worm bins. Your plants and your garden will thank you for making the switch to nature's most efficient soil supercharger.